Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you today to REUZEL's Facebook Live Monday edition. My name is Curtis Lawrence. I am here with Mr. Dave Hardy today. If you would, please comment in the comment section and let us know where you're tuning in from. And we have an awesome thing for you today. If you'd like to chart out your looks while you're with us today, we have a downloadable sheet that you can actually take and download and draw out your looks. Please follow this link to do that. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Curtis?
I'm doing absolutely
Hope
fine. So what are you gonna be doing for us today,
good.
Dave?
Today I'm going to be going over the razor fade pompadour. Some people call it a skin fade, some people call it a bald fade, but it's taking it down to scalp as close as we can with keeping a nice classic smooth style up top. The razor fade is actually one of my favorites, and also one of my most requested haircuts at the barbershop. Probably do about 6 to 7 in a day, including other haircuts. Um, it's one of my favorites because it keeps everybody tight, gives everybody a longevity on their haircut. Um, Also, it's very versatile. It's all square. Everything's square, like masculine haircuts that we do with REUZEL pomade. Um, when I mean versatility, I mean I can do anything in the styling. I can do a straight back pompadour. If I don't want as much volume or as much of a rant that I have here, I don't have to blow dry it and get it so much volume in the front. But I can also put a nice little part in here and put it to the side. And you can do that to both sides because it's evenly cut down the middle. Um, so this is the haircut I got for you guys. This is what we'll be achieving today. And we're all going to do this while following the REUZEL baseline structure. So let me put this guy away right now. And all right, so I have moistened the hair a little bit, but when we go ahead and start a haircut, we are going to, let me find my comb, which I have right on me. We are going to keep the hair nice and moist from roots to ends all the way down. There we go. Yes, I'm going to be doing clippers throughout the whole haircut. Once I go into my transition stage to the top, I will be switching to shears. But everything underneath, taking this bulk off, I'll be doing clipper over comb, a little bit of fade work in our cleanup stage, I'll call it. In the shop, I like to add a little bit of REUZEL hair tonic. Either mix it in with my water or sprinkle a little on top. Mostly, everybody comes into the barber shop with product already in their hair. This is a faster way to start the haircut without having to shampoo beforehand. It cleans the scalp, it breaks down previous product, and honestly, to me, it starts my conversation with products, with my customer, or my client, or patron, whatever you want to call him. So we're going to distribute that product from roots to ends. And when I mean this starts the conversation, I mean the smell. The smell sells. So when you spray this or mix it in with their hair, the first thing they're going to think is old school barbershop. This smells amazing. What are you putting in my hair? So then I start my conversation with, this is REUZEL Hair Tonic. This is a good way to break down product and not have to shampoo every day. But let's be honest, our customers shouldn't be shampooing every day. They should be leaving a little bit of product so that their head doesn't get dry, their scalp doesn't get dry. So let me take a break talking about product and tell you where I'm starting here. So on this haircut, on any of our haircuts with REUZEL pomade, we are going to start with a baseline structure. That baseline structure is going to start from the parietal ridge around to the occipital bone in the back. Now, this is just for classic square shapes. Not just that, we can make a baseline any shape, okay? But for this razor fade, we're going to follow the natural shape of his head. The reason that we follow the parietal is because it's the outermost part of the head. It is where our head squares off, okay? Now, with the pompadour and all classic haircuts, we want to fill in this little area here. So by doing that, we're going to keep the hair a little longer up here and shorter down here, okay? Some people call it taper, but I'm going to fade him in nice and tight. How do I determine if I want to do a razor fade? Most people know they want to go for a razor fade. If someone's looking for a new look and they like to be nice and tight, but they want to have a little fun style on the top, that's where we're going to leave it a little bit longer. We're going to have more of a pompadour, okay? Another reason pompadour, before I start the baseline, it's an easy transition to get your undercut clients into a classic haircut, okay? The reason I say that is because we keep it nice and long so they have that hair to play with. They can let it drop if they want. But everything in a classic haircut starts to blend in the back. Undercuts don't do that, and you're always wondering what to do with that little tail in the back. So what I like to do is start talking them into growing the crown area out. But anyway, back to baseline. We are going to use clipper over comb. Okay, so I'm going to take my clipper comb. Okay, when I start this, my clipper is not opened, it is closed at most tension. Okay, the reason being is I want a straight, fine cut all the way down. To me, when the clipper is closed, that means straight blade cut. When it is open with clipper over comb, to me, that is like texture shear or blending shears. Okay, so for most tension, we're going to close the blade. With this haircut, we want to keep it square. We do not want to wedge. So what we are going to do is take our comb 90 degrees from the floor, straight up and down. The hair should be, whoa, that was fun. Should be nice like a tabletop. If I put a pebble in there, it should not rock back and forth. It should stay right in the middle. Now, this length is determined all by you. If you feel like you want to leave a little bit more length to keep yourself comfortable, because you can always take it off at the end, but you really can't take it or put more back on. If we could put more back on, we'd be making a lot more money than we are. But let's start this haircut. So 90 degrees. I'm going to go about inch and a half. My clipper is all the way closed. And I move right forward. Okay. I start it right above the ear because that is the flattest part of the head. Okay. When I move forward, I'm going to keep going straight. I'm not going to follow the shape of his head. Right now, I want to keep this length for styling purposes. Okay. When I move to the back, I am following okay. Clipper is all the way closed, and now I move back. Still square, but now I am parallel with my parting. Now, this beginning stage is to remove all bulk and get our initial shape. Okay, as you can see, we start to have a nice baseline or guideline for the whole haircut. Okay, my second section of cutting, and I am going to be still coming straight up and matching my guide up here with all this extra bulk underneath. Okay, we should be starting to establish a nice square shape. When we're talking shapes in a haircut, we're talking about the silhouette. So when you walk up to a person, you don't go straight to the side of the head and say, that's a nice haircut. No. You walk up to them and you see their shape here. Okay? You see how I'm starting to get a nice square shape as I'm going down. Okay? Still following around to back. When I follow around to the back, I am continuing past halfway. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I come back on the other side, I have less work to do. Okay? Makes it a lot easier. So now, I want to start getting close to the scalp because I am going to be going all the way so there's no hair left. Okay? So now I can start underneath my parietal, because that's the shape of the head. It starts tapering into the head. I can now start angling my comb towards the bottom of the nape, bottom of the hairline. And when I do this, the top of my comb is at the longest length. I do not cut that top line. I cut everything from the spine of my comb down. Okay. Take this ugly old sideburn off. Now my comb, I want to say, is about a number 1.5, so a little bit longer than 1/8 of an inch. So I know when I go down to fading this out, I can use my number 1 to blend into my longer section. So I don't have to use a whole bunch of guards. Guards, nothing's wrong. I've used them my whole career. But there's something about a nice tailored haircut with your comb and your clipper, okay? The tailored haircut makes it so Willie here can't go to the next person's chair and say, hey, I want the same haircut I got last time. But if I did a whole bunch of guards, I did a 4 down to a 3, down to a 2, down to a 1, now Willie can go to the next person and the next person and the next person and get the same haircut. It's all cookie cutter. So with your comb, you can determine the length. You can keep Willie in your chair. And as long as Willie's happy with your haircut, he's going to keep coming back to you. He's going to keep paying your pockets. He's going to keep you above water during the quarantine times. I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of loyal clients take care of me during this time. And it's a very trying time for everybody. It's a time that we really all need to come together, especially the barber industry. I know everybody's hurting out there. I'm hurting. I want to be back to cutting. I love that I get to do this for you guys. So yeah, let's all come together and make this world a safer, healthier place.
Dave, can we get
So
in a little closer
now,
there and see what you're doing with your clippers? It's a little hard to see for us.
absolutely. So what I'm doing here is my comb is angled towards the nape or the hairline. And I'm moving cut or my guideline throughout the whole haircut. You can see it's the natural shape of the head, okay? But what I want to show you here is the nice silhouette that we're getting. This nice angle, this nice blend down towards the hairline. Remember, my clipper is all the way closed for most tension. Just want to get this bulk off. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, most of the times when your client comes in, their hair is not this long, and you don't have to start all the way getting all this bulk off. Your shape is most likely there if it's a loyal client. But for new people, these hippie killers, really was a hippie, they're trying to cut that hair off. We don't want the long hair, we want to cut it off. That's me technically. I know a lot of barbers and hairstylists like cutting long hair. So you can see we have a nice fade just with our clipper over comb. Okay. Now, this is where it starts to get a little tricky. This is the only time in any haircut that I will go from short to long is when I do a razor or skin fade. So, because I have a mannequin and I only have this little bit of area to work with, I'm going to use his hairline here as a pivot point almost, okay? I'm going to follow parallel with my baseline. My clipper is still all the way closed. Use that as a pivot point and follow the same shape as my baseline here. Now, how do I determine how high up to take this second baseline or second guideline? It's a conversation you have to have with your customer or client. You say, hey, well, do you want it low, medium, or high? And, usually on a real customer, a low one to me would be just above the hairline, just above the ear here. Medium, probably about 2 fingers, 1 finger, depending on how big their head is. 3 fingers is nice and high. When I think of a high fade, I'm thinking more military cut, more flat top area. With the mannequin, I only have so much side to deal with. So I kind of determined a medium fade. Okay, so let me get all this bulk off. Another cool thing that we used with the hair tonic was it puts a little grit to the hair, so it makes the hair kind of stay in place. You can see my part has not come out of place yet. No, does not have um, but it's great for your customers with oil-based products that they use on a daily basis because it breaks down in oils or any grease. Okay. So now I have a second guideline with my baseline. So now I know I don't want to go past the baseline here, but I have to get this ugly line out. We have a bowl cut going on. We don't want the bowl cut. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to a little boar bristle brush because I'm starting to fade. I want to be able to get all the loose hairs off. When I'm fading, I'm looking for light and dark spots, okay? Yes, I'm going to be following from long to short, but I also people have little divots in their head, little bumps and indentations, and you have to be able to blend light and dark all the way up. So I know my comb was about a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. So I take my 1/8 or number one guard, open it all the way up. Okay. This is where I'm blending. Okay. Open it all the way up, less tension. And as I'm fading or blending, I'm kind of scooping or moving out. But if the person or customer in my chair has more of a square head, I don't have to do so much of a curve. I can go straight up and down. Okay. And bear with me because this ear doesn't work. So I can't really bend the ear to get a nice close-up picture of what I'd really be doing here. But blending it up. Okay. And being a mannequin, it's fun. It's interesting. You have to take in consideration that it's a little bit more sequenced than a natural head. Um, but that's okay because we still know our basics. We know that notch cutting is going to blend a little bit better. We know that um, use corners. The first time I went around with my clipper open with a number one guard on it. Then I'm going to close it all the way for most tension with the number one guard on it. And I'm going to keep working down in the same section. If you want to, you can lean him down a little bit, have him angle his head, okay, so you can see a little bit better. You want to be working right in front of the section you're cutting. Now for you guys, I want to move a little to the side so you can see what I'm doing. But when I'm cutting anything, you want to be working straight on with this section so you can focus right at the area you're working. You don't want to be overlooking anything. Now, I did the number one and I blend it down, okay? Now I'm going to take that off and we're going to open it all the way up. It's just moving slowly from longer lengths to shorter lengths, okay? Now, I'm not just looking at what I'm doing, but I'm listening. As soon as I hear the hair start cutting, I start pulling away. Okay, it's not just using your vision with hair cutting; it's using your other senses as well. Um, I don't know about you guys, but the fading has always been one of the favorites in barbershop. And I've had a lot of in the past customers coming to the barbershop. It's like, hey, you just got a haircut, man. He's like, oh no, I just went to the hairstylist and they cut the top and just did a number four on the sides, and I just want to get the sides faded. And they're like, okay, well, let me restart this whole haircut for you because I want to know personally. I want to see what his hair can do. Every person has a perfect haircut hidden inside. It's our job to find that haircut. So I opened it up, blended into that number one. We have this nice blend here, okay? Once I got past that, I closed it all the way and notch cut that last little line. Now you have this nice blend all the way up. Yes, we have a weight line here. That's fine because we still have to style, pompadour, everything. this is our baseline guide that has a good transition or good blend from long to short, okay? Now, I'm also going to take this, like I said, razor fade, okay? So in my area, in my state, cosmetologists cannot use straight razors. So today I'm going to go over how a cosmetologist can achieve this look without a straight razor by using a foil shaper, okay? But the scalp is still pretty moist. So I'm going to move on to the next side and finish my baseline and all my short hair underneath. When I take it shorter, it's going to be at the end when the scalp's dry, everything's styled, and I'm doing my cleanup or defining stage. Some people will stop here. Their skin can't take it going any shorter than where we're at, okay? Other people, they want to go as tight as possible because they want to be able to have it last. All right, so now we have to match the parting on the other side. How do we do that? Well, first off, we're going to lock this mannequin a little bit more. Well, we're going to do it the same way we did on the other side. We're going to find the parietal ridge, the outermost part of the hair. Most likely, the hair is going to start parting in that area anyway. But we're also looking at the hairline, okay? So right there at the recession of the hairline, make sure his head's nice and straight. Okay, switch sides for you guys. We're going to recession line, square the head, following the natural shape, okay? From hairline, top occipital, all above the parietal. Okay. Hair still smells good, still smells like hair tonic. He's still asking me about it. He's asking me, well, should I get that for my hair? And I'm saying yes. All right. Well, what else do I need for my hair? Well, today we're going to be using one of our newer products, and I will give you all that information when we start using it. But let's take in consideration, I'm imagining Willie here has medium hair. I'm not imagining he has thick hair, not imagining he has short, fine hair, okay? The hair itself on this mannequin, cold mannequin, it is medium texture, but to me it's more dense than most mannequins, but that's why I'm going to say it's medium texture. And that medium texture is going to be what I decide my product for styling will be. So back to baseline. I'm on the opposite side as we started. This is my easier side because I'm more right-handed. So that's why I started on the other side. Get the hard stuff done first. That way we can move quicker throughout the easy stuff. Okay, so baseline, we are going to go comb. Straight up and down from the floor. Baseline, 90 degrees, like a tabletop. I want the hair about inch and a half. My clipper is all the way closed, most tension. Start above the ear, where it's flattest, and work towards the back. Once you get to the back corner of the head, a little bit, start going parallel with your baseline parting. Okay, baseline, following the natural shape of the head. Work past halfway to meet all the hair that you had already previously cut. Okay. One more time, going straight up and down. Underneath, the guide is above you, keeping it nice and square. Following natural shape of the head. Now, this is where we start angling underneath of the parietal ridge. Angle your comb, okay? So my comb, let's talk a little bit more about the comb work. Look at this angle I have here, okay? It's the same as if I had a longer haircut and pulling it out with my shears, okay? It's all the same shapes, just using different tools. What's the difference between a shear and a clipper? Just, I probably got 20 of these. Angle it. The guide is up top and cutting everything underneath. The guide is your baseline. It is your lifeline for your whole haircut. Now, I used to be the barber and educator. Um, been educating for about 5 years now, 3 with REUZEL. Um, I used to be the guy that went in with the shortest length and then put a guard on and went to the next length, next length. I had a whole bunch of steps going up his head. Hey, it works. It does. But it's not safety proof, okay? You can't determine where that's going to lie. So we're going to take the comb once again and work long to short rather than short to long. It's more for me helpful to someone that is a cosmetologist or just cuts with shears. It kind of explains a little bit more for me. Okay. Remember, we have this nice angle here. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to move to the back of the head once again. Comb. Spine is on his scalp, and I'm following the natural shape of the head. All the way past halfway, so it makes it nice and even in the back. And then we're just going to take all this bulk off. Okay, when I'm down here, my comb is as tight to the head as I can get. When I move up, I'm slowly starting to angle my comb back towards me so that I keep the length towards the baseline parting, or our whole baseline and lifeline slash guideline for the whole haircut. Now, let's talk another thing a little bit about what the clippers I'm using. I'm also using a taper blade. I like a taper blade a little bit more than a fading blade, even though I'm doing a razor fade. To me, it gives a little bit more of a smoother transition. And it's not so tight to the head. It stays a little cooler because of the shoots in the blade. So now I have that nice silhouette that we talked about in the beginning, that nice shape on the side here, nice square baseline. Okay. So now here's the scary part again, taking it bald. So we are going all the way tight, close it all the way, high tension. We're going to keep the same pivot point right above the ear and just follow parallel to your baseline here. Okay. How far up you take this is all determined on you and the customer. Just remember, you still need area to be able to blend. Okay? Clean up all the bulk. Clean it up, clean it up. All right. Now we can go ahead and start blending this area. All these light and dark marks, hey, that's what happens when you're doing a skin fade. The clippers aren't going to cut everything all the way down because we have different spots and thicknesses in our hair naturally, just like this guy does too. But that's why we take it down shorter with a trimmer and a foil shaver. But we're not going to do that until the end. Okay, so for right now, we're going to finish this blending and get this hideous line out. Back to blending with the number one. Number one is all the way opened to keep it safe, not closed. Keep it safe, open it up, work long to short. And we're using our scooping motions, going up and down, not cutting past your baseline, just blending straight into it. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about today with you guys is a little bit of cleanliness. As you know, every shops into the barber world, there's people opening up already. We have to be clean before each and every client. Make sure you're cleaning your clippers, your combs, your guards, your stations. Everything should be cleaned in and out. And I know it's going to cut into our timings and it's going to cut into making as much money. But that's only if you keep your price the same. People are going to have to understand that you need a little bit more time, and most likely, most of the shops are going to be spending a little bit more money on cleaning supplies, which is not a bad thing. All right, so we went over 1.5, one open, okay? Now I went around and closed it a little bit tighter, okay? Working from long to short, slowly working down, okay? Now I'm gonna take that off, switch over to a boar bristle so I can see a little bit better. Walk his head down here. And I'm gonna brush this so I can get all the loose hairs out, and there's nothing that I'm overcutting. Okay, open it up and blend right into it. Same motion, should have a nice blend. You don't want to go straight in and make another hard line. Okay, once again, corners, just using corners. That's what we would call notch cutting on the top, okay, to make it a softer cut, softer line. It's basically what we're doing with the corner here. Okay, we're just notching into that previous section. Before I move to the back, I'm gonna close it halfway, not all the way. Slowly moving, getting those dark spots out, okay. And get that little guy there, and keep it moving on to the back. Once we get to the back, loosen him up. All right, there we go. So his head's nice and straight. You always want to make sure that your client's sitting nice and straight, and you can move his head in any comfortable way to be able to keep you giving a good haircut and him comfortable. You don't want him bending his neck too much all the way down with his chin in his chest. But you also don't want straight up and down because he has that bevel in his head. We want to be able to cut it off. Okay. So, and we also want to keep from his occipital, kind of like an imaginary wall from the occipital out. Okay. By having all this hair back here on the crown, you have an area for the hair to fall on top of. This is the area I was talking about, getting away from undercuts. Okay, this is where all that hair sits, and you finally know what to do. Okay. Close it halfway. Now, when I start getting closer to the scalp, you get more and more definition. You can mess up a lot easier. So that's why I don't go straight to all the way closed. Okay. Um, Work little bit by little bit. I think I'm liking that. I think I like the way that looks. I'm happy with it. Hope you guys are happy with it too. All right. So now I have that nice baseline all the way around. Let me get this hair up out of the way here so you can see. All right. Okay. So now what we've done so far, just a little quick recap. We have done baseline down, blending all the way down to scalp. Okay. All the way around. Each side is nice and even. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Okay. Now, we worked from baseline, natural shape around his head, and worked down to zero skin. Okay. We are doing the razor fade pompadour. So now we are going to start the transition. Everybody's going to be like, hey, well, this looks like an undercut. Well, no, it's not. Okay. We are going to start blending and styling and get our client as happy as can be. Now, when I said versatility on the pompadour, you can style it every which way. This is and say, hey, besides this long hair back here, do you want volume in the front? Do you want to come to the side or this side? Would you like a parting? Okay. This is where we talk about what we're going to, how we're going to style and finish his hair. Okay. Willie here, he wants a nice pompadour. So we're going to go straight back. Okay. How we're going to do that is we're going to cut the top in 4 different sections. Okay. All triangle sectioning. Start at the apex, the highest part of the head. Go to the back of the ear on one side. From the apex to the back of the ear on the other side. Now we have a nice triangle parting here. That is 1. This is your crown area. That is probably the most important. Okay. We're going to split into 3 triangles. Start at the apex and work down to your hairline. Okay. Back to the recession, the same area that you started your baseline parting. Okay. Let's work to this side. Apex, recession, same area, your baseline parting. So now we have a triangle in the back. We have a triangle here, smaller triangle, larger triangle in the front, and a smaller triangle on the side. Okay. In a barbershop, I'm not putting clips in Willie's hair, but for the sake of you guys seeing my clean sectioning, it's exactly where I'm cutting for your head sheets. Do we have any questions so far? No. Sweet. All right. So, like I said in the beginning, this is probably the most popular haircut in my barbershop. So it's kind of a requirement to work in my barbershop to be able to do a razor fade.
I just want to pop
All
in,
right,
guys.
so now how do we blend all this hair to that tight haircut?
Dave, let me interject before you
I'm
real
going
quick.
to switch from my clipper comb.
If you're having technical
Go
difficulties,
ahead,
please
Curtis.
reload your page. Facebook seems to be very busy today. I'm serving up a solid feed to Facebook, but I see in the comments we are having some issues. So if you would please reload your page and come back and visit us. It seems to be that Facebook is very busy today, and I'm very sorry for this.
We all good, Curtis? We good, Curtis?
We should be good to go now. I'm serving up a solid feed, but Facebook seems to
Hey,
be very
Curtis.
busy today.
Oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah, Facebook seems to be a little busy, and I've seen in the comments people were having some issues that you were really glitchy. I just wanted to interject and let y'all know if you reload your page, that may
Okay.
fix your issue.
Oh, our page from here. Oh,
People that are watching, Dave, don't worry about you. You're good.
okay. Cool. All right, back to transition. So we have all this luxurious hair. You can kind of see underneath the baseline parting. Okay. So natural fall of the head. If you can see, I brushed it straight back, but I'm gonna mess it up a little bit. For me, my preference is to mess it up and see where it's falling naturally. Okay. Where it falls naturally, I'm going to bring it straight down to the square parting that we started with. That's a little thick. I can't see my guide underneath. So I'm going to split it into diagonal back sections. Okay, diagonal back sections. Pull the hair down to baseline and cut it straight. Down to baseline. Excuse the, all right, now I did baseline, okay? But what I want to do with this back corner towards center back is I want to come straight up, okay? I want to start creating that imaginary wall, okay? Straight up and down from the occipital bone, the round of the head. We have to go in and cross check or take out weight in the end. All right. So you can see how it's starting to blend nicely into that weight line. Okay. We want the weight line and we'll blend it into the fade at more of a defining time at the end when it's dry. Okay. This cuts back into, we want weight on the crown. Okay. This is what gives it a nice platform for all that pompadour, that hair to come back and sit on top. Okay. So now I'm going to bring my next comb section diagonal back, straight down to baseline parting. Once I get to that corner, switch back. and follow your previous guideline. Once again, creating that imaginary wall straight up and down here. Okay. You can see I'm starting to get towards the center because less and less hair needs to be cut. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving over to the next side, doing exactly the same thing. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Let's get this guy out of the way. And remember on that side, we did comb sections, diagonal back to make the hair thinner. The smaller your sections, the more precise your haircut's going to be. We know that from taking classes from Zambilla, Paul Mitchell, all the greats. Okay. And of course, Bloody Blue. So, fine. Now we are going following your guide. Okay. Now pull everything over to your side baseline parting. Back corner, transition to the imaginary wall. Okay, you can see the hair start blending in the back here. Okay, I can feel the hair starting to get a little dry, so I'm going to moisten it back up. That way we keep everything nice and consistent, nice and even. Consistency is key. Finding a routine in a haircut, in all haircuts, is key. And me working with REUZEL, and the reason I love working with REUZEL is because the structure that we follow for a haircut gives you an amazing routine. The best part about routines is if you follow it enough, you know the ins and outs of it. So if you know the ins and outs of it, you can start taking shortcuts, okay? But you can't take shortcuts until you know exactly where the shortcuts are. And by doing that, finding those shortcuts is trial and error by you personally working with the hair, figuring out what works best for you. We've all seen a lot of educators in our day teaching how to do haircuts. We all see the Instagram and Facebooks. Hey, we're on Facebook right now. We all see these videos, and what I like to take from each one is a little bit of knowledge from each video and work it into my own. Now, what I'm doing right now is kind of just point cutting and taking a little weight out, not too much because I don't want to deter my shapes back. It's dry. Just get that nice weight in there. I want to see the hair flow nicely into the crown. Okay. Okay, you can see how it was nice on the area. Okay, now when I move up to the front, this is going to be a guide. Okay, so we're going to keep that there. Now, my next step. Here's my next triangle that I'm working with. This first triangle is done. There we go. We're going to undo that triangle there. Now this guy here, he is going to be over directed, so we have some length in the front. Okay, this hair is going to be what helps us sit right on top of that baseline wall or guideline. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is make my section smaller by taking a comb section here, pulling it straight down. I have a guide already in the back here that I cut the baseline. But this is where I'm going to start getting away from the baseline parting. Okay, angle my hair towards the front a little longer. This hair here is going to be the outside part of our hair coming up and back. This hair comes up and back and sits right on top of our transition area. Okay, pull my neck section down. And repeat. Okay, so we know that angling this towards the front is going to start giving you that what people call a curtain haircut. Okay, but me and this guy talked before the haircut. We were going to have to get up every day and do his hair. If not, he's going to look like something out of Tool Time back in the 90s. But that's okay because our haircuts are timeless pieces. So all right, finish cutting. I pulled that last section of the second triangle down, line being perfectly straight here. Okay, so now we have this nice angle here. This whole section's cut, but with the pompadour, the hair goes up and back. So now we see how we're sitting there. Okay, I think that's sitting nice and perfect. That nice transition right here in the back corner. Okay, you can see from the front, we're going to sit right there, and we still have that nice, perfect square. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the other side. Get that second small triangle done, this third triangle. Brush the hair down in natural fall. Okay, natural fall. Take a section out. Be more precise with our haircut. Remember, we angled it. And you say, well, how do you match the same angle on the other side? Me, I naturally have a muscle memory for the angle. But you can look at, let's say, eye on both sides, the eyebrow, the hairline here, the sideburn, the nose, whatever you want to look at to make sure you are on the same length as the other side. But what's to say you can't come over here and actually find out again? Okay, we're always working. You can always refine. Okay, so I think we're about halfway down the sideburn. So I'm going to repeat that over here. Same angle, halfway down the sideburn. And remember, we're point cutting. We are not straight cutting right here. Okay, we already have our guide towards the top here. And that's where we're going to stop. Have that nice angle there. Okay, pick the hair up, find the guide underneath. Point cut away. Okay, just double check. Oh yeah, sitting nice and perfect right on our baseline. Pull that last section over, repeat. And now we're almost done this haircut, guys. This is awesome. It's coming together pretty well for being a mannequin. So now we have both sides blended to our baseline. We have the back blended to our baseline. The last part is what we like to call the fun hair. We call this the fun hair because it's really the only hair that this guy, because he's bald underneath, is going to play with. He's going to style. He's going to make look good. Okay, at least that's the goal when he's sitting in your chair. And the perfect haircut doesn't come from you styling it and making it look as awesome as possible. It actually comes from your being able, because before I cut this top section here, I want to know, once again, are you sure you want the volume in the front? Okay, because from here, we can do a hard part. I can refine that and we can style it to the side. Okay, see how he looks here. Always talking about the haircut with my client. Um, in my chair, I'm not a huge talker. I am more of let me get my haircut done, and if you want to have a conversation, you can bring it up. But I'm talking about your hair. So we can talk about doing a side part here on either side, or you can do you want this front length? Okay, that'll determine if you do more of an angle or more of a flat top. But just remember this shape here, silhouette again, this shape here, square or angled down. The more of an angle you have, the more of a ramp, the more of a voluminous pompadour we're going to have. Okay, I like having a volume. Remember, this is the haircut we're going to achieve. Okay, so we want this nice angle here to blend straight into our crown area with a lot of volume up front. Okay, so Willie said he wants some volume. He doesn't want the slick back. He doesn't want a flat top. He wants some volume. So my first first section is a comb section straight down the middle. Now remember, we're working with that last triangle. So I slicked it all back. I'm doing a comb width section, mohawk section right down the middle. Okay. I know that I cut the crown to the length that I like. So I'm going to start at the crown and work up. Okay. Now, to me, that's going to be a little too tall. So who says we can't refine a little bit more? I'm liking that length there. A little bit more. Remember, the hair is going to shrink once we. Now, not every customer is home. So if we can get this cut and styled in the style he likes, our blow dry is just going to be Finesse's haircut and show him what he could have. Okay. So now I'm working in pie sections around that triangle, pulling it straight up and following the previous guide. Okay. There it is right there. Straight up. Angled back. Work into the crown. Willie's head almost fell off again. All right. Pull this back and get a nice. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Stay here for you. Okay. Now we did that middle mohawk section. So for me to not have to hold so much hair, I'm going to split it down the middle. Pull that over there. I know half of the section Now I'm going to take a pie section that we were working straight up from where it lives, and I'm going to find my guide in the back. There it is. All right, pull it straight up and back. Awesome. Now we're going to pull all this hair, cut section, and cut it off. I think my most satisfying time of cutting hair is when I get to cut all this hair off. When I get to cut little tiny pieces of hair, like that little guy, that's not fun. When I get to cut a big chunk of hair off, that's like it's satisfying to myself. All right. So now this hair comes up and back and sits right on top of our baseline. Okay. For me to cross check, since I pulled everything straight up, I just want to cross check straight down the middle, make sure everything's nice and square. And we just got a couple loose guys hanging. They're hanging out, they're having fun, but it's time for them to go. Okay. We don't want, if we drop this hair or pull this hair straight up, we don't want angled in the middle. We want a nice square all the way back. Okay. All right. Now, just to make sure we're nice and even. Cool, I like that angle there. This hair wants to come up and back. Thing I like style back area towards the crown. I like a little DA action. I like a little smooth part or blend in the back here. So now this is where you say, hey man, if you're not going to blow dry, you're not going to blow dry. You know, still got to blend in a little bit more. We just want him happy with the length on top of the hair. Okay. So I have my shape in, I have my length that I like. Okay, we can always refine once it's dry. All right. We have a nice baseline section all the way around his head. Okay. It is a heavy weight line, but that's okay because we're going to blend that out once it's dry. Okay. We have our house built, our structure built in the hair. Okay. We have a nice square shape. We're going to go nice and voluminous in the front. Okay. This is where I get to pick some products. Now, this is one of our newest products, the fiber cream. Okay. Fiber cream is very easy to work with. It's flexible, it's creamy, it's smooth to put in the hair. It's great for medium to fine textured hairs because it actually, once it's dry, it plumps up the hair, makes it look a little fuller. Okay. Of course, all of our products have an amazing smell. So I like using, since it's brand new, none of my, of course, we have the fiber pomade to go along with it and the fiber gel. The best part about the fiber technology is how it makes your hair flexible, easier to bend, and it thickens the hair as well. That's why I like it for my hair, because my hair is very fine. Okay, so today I'm going to do a little double team with the fiber. Okay, we're going to blow dry with the fiber cream. Okay, it is lighter. It's not as thick as the pomade, so it's easier to blow dry and manipulate. Okay, so with the fiber cream for a blow dry, probably going to use about that much. Okay. On damp hair, this hair is about towel dried by now. Okay. We're going to emulsify in our hands on the back and in between because the hair is every part of our hand. Okay. Area, most visible areas towards the back, sides. Then everything I have left, I'm gonna go right on his scalp towards the front, and we're gonna massage it into his head. By massaging it into his head, we're getting it on his scalp. We want products to be able to work from roots to ends. Okay, we want a voluminous haircut, so we want the products or the strength at the roots to be able to hold the ends that are light and have less product on it. Okay, work that in pretty good until you don't have as much on your hands. Okay, and what I like to do, what helps me in between, because now my hands are all sticky. Okay, what helps me in between, honestly, little trick, REUZEL grooming time. Okay, yes, it's one of our, we have it in a bottle form, which is a little thicker than the spray form. Okay, has a little bit heavier of a hold. What I like to do when I have product on my hands is spray a little bit in my hands. Once again, that smells good, so he's going to ask what that is too, even though I'm not using it in his hair. All over my hands. The oils in that is actually picking up the products off of my hands and then just wipe it off with a towel and no more stickiness. Okay, awesome. So fiber cream, our newest product, is in his hair while it's damp. We're going to blow dry. I'm going to start off with a vent brush just so I can get some air in there. I can fluff it up a little bit. All right, but I'm only fluffing up the front. Okay, guys don't want volume back here like a beehive. We want volume in the front here, okay, like a lamp. So I'm going to start on my strong side. And with the blow dryer, it's going to be pretty loud. So I'll tell you all my steps now. I'm going to start on my strong side, on the sides, to get that structure, that shape going straight up, okay? Then I'm going to work in the back, in the crown, dry that first, and then slowly where I get in front of the apex, where the head starts falling back down, is where I'm going to start lifting up for volume. But until I get to the front of the apex, everything is flat, straight to the crown. Okay? Another thing with the blow dryer, I am going to be on full power, medium heat. Okay? Once I get towards more volume, because it's a mannequin, I can heat it up a little bit more and it won't bother him so much. All right, blow dry time. Switch to the other side, and I actually switch hands and repeat the same thing. Blow dry these sides straight up and work down in the crown. What I like to do here is my sides and boxes are full dry. Now we're going to blow dry all this straight to the same baseline parting. gonna take the edge of my comb and my brush and rock it for just one section at a time. This fiber cleaner is working wonderfully in the hairline tint. It's making the hair very easy to manipulate. All right, now we're starting to get into the front of the crown or front of the apex. And now I can start pulling his head off. Great. Oh, look at that nice volume. Oh, yeah. Boy, if your head don't stay down. There we go. Come over to this side so you guys can see me. His head just don't want to stay on today. All right. Nice volume in here. Hair's very easy to go through with the comb or the brush. But got a really nice shape to it. Okay. So now my hair is nice and dry. I see our shape. Now we can go in and start defining everything. Now we can start finishing everything. Okay. So how we're going to do that is we see where everything's at. We're going to go back in with our clipper over comb, high tension, all the way closed. Recap before I do that. Everything underneath was cut baseline down. Okay. So about 1.5 inches down to scalp. From the baseline down, we transitioned into the top. We did 4 triangle sections on the top. 1 triangle in the crown, 2 small triangles on our baseline from the apex down, and then 1 larger triangle in the front. That's where we play with and have fun. All right. So now what we're going to do at the refining stage, the very end, and to be honest with you, at my shop, most of my regular clients, they're getting same haircuts over and over. This is usually where I start their service, is after a blow dry into a style. Okay. Now I got my clipper comb to comb that long hair that I don't want out of the way. And we're just going to refine this weight from the baseline. And all the hair straight to it. Okay. Move him back up there.
Looking mighty fine there,
Comb is at
Dave,
the
and thank
same
you for that
angle.
recap.
I'm sorry?
I said you're looking really good there, my bud. Thank you for that recap. That was really good.
No problem. No problem. So
As we're
now
closing up here, guys, if you want to drop any questions in the comments, and we'll get Dave to answer those, and we'll close out this live for today.
absolutely. All right. Now we are going to be blending this weight line straight in to our longer transition hair by just working the comb out to longer lengths. Now we can play with some product, okay? And before I do that, I want to blend it back a little bit more. Just texture this up some. That little weight line I see here, I'm not happy with. So I'm going to take my blending shears and slowly work out the weight. Now I'm not going into the roots with this. I'm just skimming just along the outer edges of the length. And I'm cutting a couple times. I'm not thinning the hair, I'm blending the hair. Awesome. Happy with that. Let's double check our length, our shape before we go ahead and put our products in. I think our shape is looking great. Now, all right, I think that shape is looking great. Okay, now we're gonna go in with some fiber pomade. Okay, all about the fiber today. It's my favorite. This is a little thicker than the cream, so more of a finishing product. Okay, so I'm gonna use about a knuckle's worth. You can always add more product at the end if you need it. But to me, I don't want to overdo them because they're not going to put that much product in their hair. Let's be realistic with our customers. So focal areas first, sides, roots of the fronts, right in the visual areas. Slick it all back. Hold his head down so he don't pop it off. Massage it in the same way you did when the hair was wet. The only difference now is you gotta be a little bit more gentle. You don't pull their hair out. He wants a little bit more. His hair is dry and just soaked all that product up. So about another knuckle worth. And I'm gonna pull this hair out, all this hair, because in here's dry. So I want to be able at the roots, okay? Product distribution is key when having a good style. Okay, and your customers need to know that as well. Okay. Now that I got the product in there, I think it's pretty distributed. Okay, I'm going to work with a pick. Your customers can work with a wide tooth comb. Me personally, I'd work with a pick because it doesn't flatten out the hair like a comb would. Okay, brush everything straight back. Now it's a little nerve for all that volume to sit on like structure. Okay, come on now, Willie. Okay. we're starting to get that shape in there. Now, if you guys remember, I said I like that DA look in the back. So I'm going to keep it with all the hair flowing towards the middle. Real quick. Here in the middle, flatten that crown area out. Now we're going to double check him from the front. Awesome. I think Willie is almost happy with where we're going. I
That looks
think he's
damn
ready
fine
to
there,
get up out
Dave.
of this chair. All right. So this is your razor fade. Now, last step is a little bit of trimmer and foil work, and we are done. The last part, this is where we clean everything up, get those dark areas out. One last recap from the razor fade. We started with our baseline parting and worked down with our clipper over comb down to scalp. Okay. Then we transitioned from the long hair in the crown to the baseline parting. And from there, we worked our sides in a natural fall with over direction towards the front to establish length. And we connected the middle of the top to those sides. Got a nice ramp shape up top. Blow dried with fiber cream, our newest and one of my now favorites, into style, and finished with fiber pomade for just a little bit of extra hold, natural shine to medium finish. The hold is great. I wouldn't use it for thick hair though. Okay, sorry, looking for my tools. And the foil shaver. This is what's going to take a cosmetologist and make her or him a barber. This takes it down closer than a straight razor, in my opinion, a lot faster and with less irritation. If you have those clients that get irritated with a razor, give the foil a shot, and it should alleviate that. It's also great for facial shaving. So if a guy comes in and you're a cosmetologist and you can't offer a straight razor shave, you can always offer a foil shave with a complimentary hot towel and facial massage. And during that massage, you can also use either our REUZEL astringent foam or REUZEL hair tonic. And this, everyone,
That's absolutely perfect there, Dave.
is your razor fade.
Awesome,
Do
Dave.
we
Why
have
don't you
any
tell us?
questions?
I didn't see any in the comments. Everybody's telling you great job,
Okay,
amazing work, dope haircut.
awesome.
Dave, why don't you tell us who's coming on Wednesday with us?
Okay, so Wednesday, we got Patrick Lewis on Facebook Live through our REUZEL Pomade at 12 p.m. Eastern Time.
Awesome, Dave. Thanks so much. And thank you for taking your time out of your quarantine day. And thank your wife for being our
Absolutely.
cameraman today. Everybody,
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
guys, again, I want to thank you for tuning in today. I have several things I want to share with you. Of course, we want to talk about our live that will be coming up Wednesday with Mr. Patrick Lewis. And then later on in the week on Friday, we will have Mr. Husan Awada tuning in from Sweden. I want to thank you again for your time today. If you had any technical issues, I'm very, very, very sorry for it. Facebook seems to be super busy today. Try and catch it on the replay. I'm hoping everything will be fine. If not, we'll do this one again. Again, thank you for your time, and we greatly appreciate you being with us today.